My name's Colin and I'm hoping to run an ultramarathon every month in 2023.
And my name's Andrew, Colin's brother, and I'm going to be joining them for half a marathon during his ultra run every month. This is Idiots Go Running.
Episode 2, the January Run.
We are recording this on Monday, the 30th of January 2023, 2 days after our first run. Colin, how you feeling?
I'm feeling surprisingly good, would you believe, after my intensive month of training. What about you, Andrew?
Surprisingly, I'm not feeling too well either, Colin. You were saying about the intensive month of training. How many runs did you do between the 1st of January, when we had this idea, as we talked about in the last podcast, up until the run on the 20th?
Well, I thought 2023 would hit the ground running, and I can honestly say I hit the ground, but there wasn't much running. I was surprised. Before this, we started recording this, we thought, we'll have a look at how many runs we actually did do this month. And I'm actually a wee bit embarrassed. It's in single figures, and it's less than 7. Six
Is it
runs.
more than 5?
It's more than 5. 6 runs, Andrew. 6.
6 runs. You trained to do an ultra marathon with 6 runs under your belt in a 28-day period?
In a 28-day period, yeah. I can come up with all the excuses you want. It was cold, right enough had a wee cold patch. Maybe the kids were off school.
We did have the snow. We did have a week of snow here in Northern Ireland the week before we went out running, so it did stop us in our tracks.
Yeah. And how many runs did you do for your half?
Well, of course, I was doing a half. And again, if you didn't listen to the last podcast, a half is a big thing. It's a big thing for me because I nearly killed myself doing a half marathon a few years ago. I did better than Colin, but it was still the single figures, but just about 9 runs in the month. 9 months. And that's not too bad, all in all.
No, that's you going hard at it, isn't it?
Fairly hard, and the runs spaced out. At the start of the month, I started about just short of 3 mile, and I ended up running just short of 5 mile. I'm quite happy with that, but as you're probably listening, seasoned runners are probably listening to this, shaking their heads, and that's why you're listening to a podcast called Idiots Go Running, because we are idiots, but
We are
we're
idiots.
trying not to be as idiotic, and we're hoping to learn through this process. And I learned an awful lot, I have to say. But before we get to what I learned, Colin, tell me about the day, tell me about the morning, because your day started a few hours before mine did.
Yeah, so I got up and I went to put, it was cold enough, so I thought I'd throw on a pair of gloves, and I couldn't find one of my gloves. So I have these pair of gardening gloves that can only be described, and they were a wee bit wet. So when I put them on, I walked outside, they actually made my hands feel even colder. So I took them off. So that was the start, 8 o'clock. Let's start this run with cold gardening gloves. You know, seasoned runner as I am. Started running up the road and thought, I'll text Andrew to let him know I'm on my way. I'll tag him in my GPS. What were you doing whenever I sent you my GPS coordinates to follow me?
I was just getting out of bed, Colin. I was literally just getting out of bed.
Meanwhile, our gardener runner over here is marching down the road. And do you know what? It's the best way to start the day. I love running in the morning. You feel like you have the day ahead of you. You have more energy. You've got this. You're just ready to go. Right enough, the start of the run was along footpaths, and nothing really exciting happened.
You were running from Belfast. You were running from your house in Belfast to whereabouts?
Get this right, because we've been told off by our wives. Dramara. We've been calling it Dramora. I think the butter brand's Dramora, isn't it?
So there's 2 places in Northern Ireland. One's called Dramora, one's called Dramara. They're both quite close to each other.
Yeah, not the butter brand. There's 2 places. I don't know. I haven't looked up a map, but we were running to Dramara.
Dramora make a type of butter here in Northern Ireland, so that's what Colin was referring to when he was talking about butter.
Yeah. Other brands of butter are available. Anyway, going past country roads, some amazing places, lakes, rivers, and the roads were actually really empty, so it was reasonably safe to run down the roads. My tip for running on country roads is do not have headphones in, or if you have them bone conductor ones, stick them on, because when a car drives past you, I've done it in the past, and you don't realise and the music's up too loud, it scares the absolute jelly out of you. There's a reason I said jelly.
Oh, we'll get to the jelly. We will get to the jelly. And tell us about the type of day, because we had it well actually Saturday the 28th here. What was the weather conditions like?
Cold, but it was really foggy. It was actually really misty in the morning, so you couldn't see maybe 20 metres ahead of you at some stages or some paths I was taking. But yeah, so
I didn't know that. It cleared up by the time I got round to it, didn't it?
Of course it did. Well, I was standing having a coffee waiting on you. So anyway, I got near Dramara and I thought, I'll check in with Andrew. I'm sure he's on his way. Were you on your way?
I was on my way and all, with a peanut butter and jam sandwich for you.
Yeah, I love a peanut butter and jam. There's nothing nicer than a middle of a run and you have a peanut butter and jam sandwich. It's fine dining.
So you got to Dramara. How many miles was that?
How many miles was it to Dramara? Are we talking 15?
About 15, 16 miles.
16. Yeah, so 16. So I rock up.
And it was maybe a 15 minute wait until I got there.
Well, when you were on the phone, you told me 18 minutes. You're rounding that down.
Oh, that's because it's on the podcast now.
Yes, I was only 15 minutes, 18 minutes. You left. You said you were stopping in to go to the toilet somewhere. You'd be 18 minutes. So anyway.
Yep, well, that's true. The GPS did say it was 18 minutes away from you.
I thought Dramara was bigger. Wait to hear this one. So I was in Dramara thinking, it's going to be 18 minutes. That gives me time to get a wee cup of coffee. Could I find anywhere to have a cup of coffee? Nope. I walked around the corner and I thought, that looks like a coffee place. Everyone's going to listen to this and go, of course, it's not the name of a coffee shop. It was called Bedazzled to Zazzle. And I thought, oh, that looks okay.
Right, that doesn't sound like a coffee place in fairness, Colin.
No, but I looked through the window and there's old women. And I thought, oh, they're sitting at the window having a coffee. So I went to walk over to go in. I was going to an older woman's hair salon. And the woman in the window, I should have noticed, was getting perms in her hair. That was me trying to get a coffee. But then I found another coffee shop that was a side on part to a bar, and I walked in and it was tiny, but the people were super nice. I got myself a coffee, went out to the main road and spilt it over my hand. Burnt the hand of me, warmed my hands up a wee bit, and then just waited on Andrew.
This was 15 to 18 minutes later.
18.
And when you say that, when we're doing this challenge, certainly at the minute, run one was not about time. It was about showing up. It was about finishing, and time was secondary. Finishing and not being injured was the goal of run one, wasn't it? So you did have time for a coffee. Yeah, we weren't busting ourselves to try to do a certain time. Certainly not in this run. Maybe in other runs we'll maybe attempt that, depending on how things go.
I think you just wanted to get back for dinner, didn't you?
We'll get to that. We'll have cordoned off, or not cordoned off. We'll have penciled in the last Saturday of every month. But plans were then made for Saturday night for me to go out for dinner, so we couldn't be too late. So, and also we've had to rearrange plans for May because of me also, because I've booked a trip to Croatia for that weekend, and we'll talk about that at a later date too. That's going to stuff up our plans slightly, but we will figure something out. But I will probably not be doing the run in Croatia, so I'll have to do it the Saturday before or after. But I turned up, Colin, and it was around 12:15, would it have been 12:20 possibly?
Yeah,
in Dramara
18 minutes
to meet
past
you
12.
Something like that. It could have been 18 minutes past 12, and I turned up fresh as a daisy. But you had gloves problems. I had also glove problems. I went to Decathlon. Decathlon's a shop here in Northern Ireland, because on the Friday, so we were running, no, on the Thursday, we were running on the Saturday. On the Thursday, I rock up and I figure I need a running hat, I need running gloves, and I need one of those bags, because you have a bag. Tell us about your bag and what you keep in yours, Colin. Or before you do, I'll tell you my quick story, sorry. The bag that I wanted was out of stock. I phoned you up and you said, you don't need a bag, you can use my bag. And then I said, well, do you want me to buy gels for you? And you were like, no, I don't need gels. And you certainly don't need gels. You're just doing a half marathon. Although in my last half marathon, I was taking gels and I really needed them. But I thought,
did I say you don't need gels?
Well, that's the way I interpreted it. Maybe you didn't say it. Maybe I think I said I don't need
gels because I have gels.
Aye, maybe that's what you said, and maybe I just took that as if, well, I don't need gels then because I'm only doing a half
First
marathon.
time I've realised this.
And
It's kind of your thing.
well, that's why I turned up with no gels. So I didn't get gels. I didn't get my wee backpack, and I got a nice running hat and nice gloves, fantastic gloves, which you can even use in your smartphone to touch the screen. But when I was on my way to Colin, 18 minutes away at an Apple Greens, going to the toilet, I realised I had forgot my gloves. So it didn't start too good, but it turned up in Drumara. I'd got that over with. And
That was nice.
I bought a whole rake of waters. Do you remember? It was like 16 waters.
16. He came with a pack of 16 waters and a hat.
A pack of 16 waters and a hat. And I drank two of them before I even got to you. And that's why I went to the toilet beforehand. And then I turned up and I said, Colin, do you want a water? And you go, no, I don't want a water. I don't need a water. I've got water in the bag. And then off we went. And we were maybe about 3 mile into the journey. And tell us about the hill we came across.
We didn't even come. It was started on a hill. So
we started on it. I suppose we did. We started on the hill, and tell us about the elevation of it.
I have one of them wee Garmin watches that sort of takes you wherever you need to go and takes your path, and it shows you your incline and your decline. There was this hill I hit at the start of the run, and I thought, oh, this hill, there's a bit of burn off this hill. But the other hill,
you showed me on your watch, and it was like, that looks quite steep.
Yeah, that was a smaller hill, but then this other hill was at least 5 times as steep as it and a wee bit shorter than it. I think it was over 2 kilometers. It was a 1,150 foot climb.
I've got it here on my Strava, and it's telling me roughly, I think at the highest height, just over 1,200 feet.
1,200 feet? Wow.
Yep,
That
elevation.
Now, if there's anything that's going to warm up your legs, that's going to warm up your legs at the start of a run. And
it was like a baptism of fire for me, because I had just joined literally at the bottom of that hill.
With 2 bottles of water in your stomach?
Well, with 2 bottles of water and about 2 to 3 mile into this run, we decided to take a wee selfie. And I think it was nearly the only photo we got of the day. And it was a real epic photo. Amazing. You could see the road going all the way up the hill, or a fair bit up the hill. And the sun was in the background. And I don't know if we've show notes for this podcast, but if we do, look them up and we might post it there. Over the course of this, we'll maybe get something sorted of show notes and photos, and we got a photo there, and that was great. And then speaking of the water, we maybe got 5 mile into the run, did we?
Yeah. So
and you took out your salt tablets.
So wee salt tablets, basically they stop you cramping up and they give you a wee bit of energy. Maybe it's in your head. I like the odd wee salt tablet when I'm.
So tell us that again, because salt tablets are new to me. So you carry salt tablets with you when running?
Yeah. So I believe now. I'm an idiot, but I believe that they stop you cramping up, and they're better for hydration and better for you to, when you take a wee salt tablet, a swig of water, and it just helps everything. I honestly think a lot of these things are in your head, even the gels. Yes, they do give you energy and all that, but I thought I'll share my salt tablets with Andrew.
So you give me a salt tablet and you go, get your water from my bag. And I looked at you and I said, I didn't put water in your bag. And what did you say?
I said, why did you not put water in your bag? And you said, because you told me not to.
I said, you told me not to.
No, I said I didn't want any water. Does anyone hear the theme?
There's a recurrent story here. There is, well, now that I hear it out loud, there is a bit of a theme. It's, I say something to you and you go, I don't need that. And I just hear, I don't need that either. So I didn't have gels with me. And then with 16 bottles of water, my 16 bottles of water that I brought, I didn't bring any with me. And you just looked at me and you shook your head and you said, you really are an idiot. You're doing a half marathon with no water. Yeah. And you just looked at me like, it made me feel like an idiot.
At least you had a form of sugar rush with you. Like I always, if I'm running any distance, I have a Camelback and I put the carbohydrate drink in it. So I use 2 scoops, 50 scoops of carbs per scoop. And I would use 2 scoops.
So you're not running with bottles of water. You're running with the camel thing. That's
camel
a bag of water, more or less.
It's heavy.
In your bag.
It is heavy.
It is, well, it looks it.
Don't clean it out with fairy liquid.
And why is that?
Because it's hard to get that fairy liquid taste out of it. You're drinking it and all you get, I was just tasting fairy liquid. I don't know how many times I've tried to clean it. It just tastes like fairy liquid.
And you put 2 scoops of what in?
It's a carbohydrate drink. It's like a energy drink, and it's got menthol in it.
What does that do? Just give you a bit of boost of energy, or
just energy stores your muscles.
In fairness, you did say you could take a swig of your water, and I was like, all right, and you go, it's okay. You can buy one in the garage. I looked around and I said, a garage, Colin? You've no idea where we were unless you know the area. We did not see a garage until we got back into the car. We were in the middle of nowhere. It was just green fields all around of us, mountain terrain all around us, all greenery. And I thought, if worst comes to worst, there's so many houses, I'll just nip into a wee house, knock the door and ask for a wee glass of water. And I'm sure someone will be more than kind to give it to an idiot that was going running without water. And you know what? I said, I'll show you. I don't need water. And I didn't. But again, it was a nice day. It was a nice day in terms of it was overcast. It was not really that sunny. It didn't rain. There was maybe a wee slight drizzle. Because on and off.
You tried to open your mouth and drink the rainwater.
I did open my mouth a few times to get the drizzle. And maybe that happened. But Colin mentioned...
Did you actually say, I opened my mouth to get the drizzle? What are you, Snoop Andrew dog?
That's what I did. Every time the drizzle started, I would say, Colin, I'm opening my mouth. I'm getting the drizzle. And a wee bit of the drizzle came in
drizzle my fizzle
to my mouth. So, but you did allude to something. I did have a secret weapon.
You did.
Because that morning, Colin, you text me to say, I would love if you wouldn't mind bringing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, we have jelly, or here in Northern Ireland it's called jam. I had jam, I didn't have peanut butter, so I went to the shop and got peanut butter, and it was at this stage I realised I should have bought gels. I really felt like I needed something. I seen the water, so I got the 16 bottles of water. I got Colin's peanut butter, and then I walked by an aisle and I just looked and I seen it, and I thought, it's not gels, but it's close enough. It's jelly. Now, it's one of those cubes of jelly where, you mix it in with hot water and then it makes more jelly. So what would you say? It's just cubes, a big bar of jelly. And I had that in my pocket and I said to Colin, it's all right. Don't need water. Don't need your gels. I've got jelly. I've got my bar of jelly. And that stayed in my pocket because you had my mobile phone, you had my keys, and that's all I brought. And but the jelly was in my pocket for nearly the whole way through it.
Until you started your energy dropped at one stage, and you were like, I don't know, I just feel tired.
Yeah, well, I have to say about the run for me, I was surprised just how much I was enjoying it and just how much I felt well, and my body felt okay. But around 10 mile into the run I was going to be running close to 14, I just felt a wee lack of energy. Do you remember it, Colin?
Yeah. I suppose your energy stores were completely depleted because you didn't have flipping water and you didn't have any gels. You had keys.
So who knew when you're on half marathons, you need water and you need gels or some kind of supplements?
I'll just turn up to do a marathon with myself, like a friend of ours who turned up to camping without a tent or anything else.
That's another story for another day. I'm making the mistakes, so you, the listeners, don't have to make these mistakes. And you're maybe listening to this going, there's no way I would turn up without gels or certainly without water. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to make that mistake, and I think even next time I might get a bag. What do you think about that, Colin? You said I don't need one, but surely just to carry stuff and maybe my water and my jelly.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, I don't need a bag, but let's see where that goes. No, I would say you put your stuff in your bag that you think you need. Well, you'll go with a bottle of water, some gels, and that'll do you for 14 miles. Done.
because the furthest I had ever ran was 13.1 miles. And I broke that record. What did I run? I've just got it up here in front of me. No, I don't. 1 second now, I do. 13.82 miles. So that's the longest I have ever ran in my life. And around mile 10, I got the jelly from my pocket and I took a bite, and it was tough to get through. But boy, did I enjoy it, Colin. And I let you know just how much I enjoyed it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Every bite was a delight. Oh, there we go. Every bite was a delight.
So, what are you advertising for jelly now? He literally ate the bite of it, and then he's like, once again, I still think a lot of these things are in your head. It's a lot of stuff's mental. And Andrew was off thinking he was amazing and talking about how
Didn't think it. I knew it, boy.
how you knew you were amazing, and all of a sudden he's like, I could cover these in peanut. Oh, should we give this away before someone else makes this? Concentrated jelly covered in peanut butter and chocolate. Put them in cubes. Put them in a bag.
Yep. Cut them down into cubes.
Cut them
Yep.
down into cubes. Put them in a bag.
So that's my plan. I'm gonna like, and I don't know the research, the scientific nature behind this. Although you did look it up on the Sunday morning,
Yeah,
you sent me a few links, which
people there's some people out there who just love running and love eating jelly when they run, and it is really.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm one of them now.
There's another person out there who loves. So maybe it's Andrew's thing. Maybe he's the jelly runner. I don't know, concentrated man. I don't know, concentrated jelly man. I don't know.
But joking aside, I will be buying jelly and it'll be coming with me the next time. I will be cutting it up into smaller chunks. I might cover it in peanut butter. I might cover it in chocolate. And it's a little treat, and it's something to look forward to at around mile 10.
You're probably ripping off Turkish Delight.
Now you say it, does sound
It does sound
Turkish
like
Delight, doesn't
Turkish
it?
Delight, yeah. It just sounds like a poor man's Turkish Delight. You know the Turkish
That
Delight.
said, if you've ever taken a bar of jelly and tried to eat it, it's really quite tough. There's a real thick texture to it, obviously, because it does need to be
That's what the
melted
person
down or
said.
whatever with hot water.
That's what the person said
What's
on
that?
the
And
links
what
I
person?
sent you. That he says it is tough to chew. But if you've tried
It is tough to chew.
if you've tried to chew one of them their hiking bars, holy moly, they will get stuck in your teeth. You'll break a jaw on them. Is it the Cliff bars? Yeah, they're tough to go through as well. So it couldn't be any tougher than jelly.
So I ended not too bad. Surprisingly, my knees were. I have to say, overall, I felt really well. But how did you feel? And what was your end distance, Colin?
My end distance was, well, we'll say roughly 31 miles, because the first run, you're out down the road, and what did I forget to do? Start my watch. So we got about half a mile down the road, and then my watch started beeping and going energy saving mode. And I thought, oh, I'll have to hit start. So I missed the first half a mile of my run. But 31 mile was my total distance. I have ran further, but looking back after 6 runs at the start of the month.
That's more than impressive.
Yeah, and all the excuses in the world you could make, it was just... You know what? I did go to the gym, so I would run to the gym. So them 6 runs were followed by a session at the gym, and I think it counted.
And how long were those runs? Because they were longer than mine now.
Each run was minimum of 7.5 mile, and my last run was 12.6, I think.
Right, so it was decent mileage.
Yeah, and I'm running with a bag in my back to basically get me used to running with a bag in my back. Which is good training for running with a bag in your back. So yeah, like in the mornings I would run to the gym with all my clothes, everything in my backpack, everything ready to go. And then my weekend runs, what I would do is throw water in the Camelback, even if I'm not drinking at all, but it's just to get used to that weight on my back. But look, I suppose I've done a bit before, so there's a bit of base fitness there, and I kind of know what I'm doing, and if I'm not running for any pace, but it was just such an adventure, such a good day out.
It was a great day out. It really was. I have to say, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. And what was the recovery like that night for you, and these last 2 days for you?
Do you know what? I struggle to sleep at night after running decent distances. It's like I'm still buzzing that night, and I'll wake up throughout the night. And granted, my child decided to be sick that night as well, which did wake me up a few times, but I'm still not sleeping the way I would normally sleep, like a baby. What about you, Andrew?
Surprisingly, I wasn't too bad. I went out for food.
What did you get?
That night. Thai restaurant, Thai food. It was absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. 3 courses, went the full shebang.
Were you starving? Were you absolutely starving?
I was hungry. Even after, normally, I don't go out much to a restaurant, but we was meeting friends, and normally we'd do a mains and a dessert, but we went starter, mains, dessert, and I have to say, after the mains, I was still hungry. I was still hungry.
Yeah, I think
And I was still hungry after dessert too, truth be known.
You need to go to a buffet.
But the last 2 days, not too bad. A bit sore, but
still hungry.
Nothing awful. No, not too bad. Not too bad.
I'm still hungry. See, the mornings after big workout, after exercise, I could eat porridge for breakfast, followed by bagel avocado, followed by something else.
No, I'm not bad. I suppose the next follow-up question is, before I do, any aches and pains?
No, none, because...
From yourself?
No, none, because previously I learned from the ultramarathons I did last summer. There was areas in my feet that I would find rubbing. So what I do is I cover it in Vaseline, and I would use tubey grips just inside the socks just to cover the areas, because I've got this extra bone in my foot. Apparently it's an accessory bone, which so many people are bored with, and you can't do anything with it other than, I think it could be foot reconstruction to get it removed, and it takes you ages to get back even walking. Yeah, so I have this bone that rubs and kind of grows out the side of my foot. You seen it on my first back-to-back ultramarathons, where I had this huge big
speaks
thing,
the truth,
and it looked like, I think, half thought it could have broken something. It was just protruding that much. So now I know how to cope with that. Even on areas where my shoes might rub ever so slightly, I would cover it. But you get to the stage where you're doing so many miles that it doesn't matter how much tubey grip, how much Vaseline, how much anything you put on it, it's going to rub. And yeah. What about you, Andrew?
No, I'm not feeling too bad, Colin. I have to say, that said, I wasn't going out running yesterday. I wasn't going out running today. When should people go out running after a marathon, ultra, or half marathon, do you think?
The physios and all the medical people will probably tell you, give it a few weeks or something along those lines. My plan?
A few weeks? Catch yourself on.
I would say so. Do you want to look it up and find out?
We'll look it up now, because certainly I knew the next day there's not a chance. The Monday, which is today, there's not a chance. Tomorrow, I feel like I maybe could, but I think I might leave it to Wednesday.
Take at least 2 weeks recovery after an ultra. This should include more rest days from activity than normal, and any runs should be short and very relaxed effort. I also recommend focusing on getting as much sleep as your body needs during this time, and eating a healthy diet. So that's an ultramarathon. So mine was slightly over a marathon.
Yeah, I've Googled half marathon, and 1 to 3 days or 2 to 4 days is what people are saying.
What's a full marathon? A marathon, 3 to 7 days.
3 to 7 if no running.
Yeah, so
the way I'm feeling, I'll look up the weather to see tomorrow, and that'll really depend if I go out running. But generally not feeling too bad. I think I might leave it tomorrow. Although Wednesday's not looking as good. But
are you looking at the weather to when you can run?
I know.
Are you running? So are you waiting for good days so you can run?
Well, if it's lashing tomorrow, I ain't going out. But that's a good point that you've made. There was one.
That gets in miles in. Oh, it's raining today. Hopefully, it's better tomorrow. See if you lived in like a sunny country. I
ran 9 times. I ran 9 times to your 6. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was cold.
Yes, yours was further,
there was
but
cold
still.
weather in the middle of it.
There was snow and ice.
I fell.
But you do make a good point. That's right. We went running on the same day. That was just before I suppose it wasn't before the cold hit, because it was cold that day. And you text me to say that
be careful.
You fell, and I sent you a picture of myself in my running gear, and you said be careful, and I was careful, and I didn't fall, thankfully, on that occasion. But you make a good point about running in the wet, that there was maybe 2 or 3 times during my 9 runs where I looked outside and I thought, oh, rubbish, it's raining, it's miserable, it's grey, it's wet. And I thought, but I have to do it. I have to make the effort. And if it hadn't been for this challenge, there's not a way. There's no chance I would have went out running those days. So just before this podcast started, Challenge 2 is only 26 days away, Colin.
Yep. I hear what you're saying. Last month, I had probably went out 6 times if this challenge hadn't happened. So
it really didn't make much difference to you.
No.
If it hadn't been for this challenge, I would have probably said I probably would have ran about 4 times.
Yeah.
4, maybe lucky to hit 5 maybe, but this challenge has made me get out there and certainly do the distances. I probably would have stuck with 3 miles.
Yeah.
But I pushed myself on for a few 5 miles, you know.
But it's the adventure at the end of it. It's all about the journey.
And that's one done, Colin. 1 out of 12. And we're on podcast 2.
And we did say it was disappearing, that run. It just, yeah. So that run, actually, the first sort of 10 miles whenever you met me disappeared. And the last
10 to 11 miles just flew for me, yeah.
And the last 5 miles just seemed to go on and on. And I don't know whether it was you talking about your jelly revelation. The last 5 miles.
It was good jelly.
It was good jelly.
Jelly was a game changer, Colin. Let's not beat about the bush. I could talk all day about that jelly. Strawberry, we didn't even say what flavour it is. Strawberry jelly.
You might
Although that guy that you sent me, well, this is it. He likes blackcurrant. So February is the month of blackcurrant jelly, I do believe.
Yeah, stick with the season. Blackcurrant season. But yeah, so next month we're going to Portaferry. Again, in Northern Ireland. You're going to be running from your house to Portaferry. How many miles? I don't even know how many miles.
Is that correct?
Yeah. I don't know how many miles it is, but look, we've still got to make a route. But my aim is to this week is a bit of a stretching and mobility week. So get back on the stretching, get my legs back moving. Saturday, I'll go out for maybe a wee 10-mile run. Sunday a 5-mile, and then I'll be back into 7.5 miles midweek. Going to the gym. End of the week, stretch and mobility, and then the following week will be 7.5 miles. Just to be honest with you, you probably are thinking, why are you doing 7.5 miles? Is this some special training regime that you've just created? Is this something that helps you train for an ultramarathon? It's a distance from my house to the gym. And I do actually own a car before anyone looks at me and goes, you just run from your house to everywhere. It's just because it's handy. You get up, you go out, you run to the gym, and it's 7.5 miles. That's why I run 7.5 miles. Weekend, I have more time, and I'll do 10 to 15 on a Saturday on the weekend. So that is my scientific approach to training for an ultramarathon.
And we should also say the plan was for us to run, or for you to run from Belfast to Dromara to Newcastle, but we had to change that plan the day before, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, my car broke down.
Because your car broke down and my son was sick. So we just did a massive big loop around the area of Dromara.
But Dromara's really nice.
Fantastic, yeah. It really was nice, and we've seen a good bit of that countryside. So we did have to change the route up.
Yeah, last minute, but that's okay. That's all part of the fun. But we got to see country roads that I would never drive on. I promise you, I would never in my life have been down any of these roads that we ran on. I don't think there was any cars on the roads. How many cars passed us, Andrew, in that road for running?
There wasn't many. We ran country roads, and there wasn't many cars that passed us.
No, really, yeah.
Which was great, and that made it more enjoyable too. See the quad bike?
You've seen a quad bike?
The guy in the quad bike?
He flipping near took us out.
He must have been 6 years old, and he just played chicken with Colin, because I kind of floated in behind Colin. I think his granda was in a car behind him.
He was lucky his granda was behind him, I'll tell you that.
And then the last minute, he just scooted out. Chicken with a 6-year-old on a quad bike. Yeah. And you won, Colin. I did. Congratulations.
I did. So not only did I win in the ultramarathon, I also won in a quad bike. Yeah, and we'd seen guys moving a sofa, which I said to Andrew, do you want to give him a hand? And Andrew was like, yeah, you work away. Yeah,
this was at mile 20. Yep, you work away, and you did not work away, or mile 12. Yep. We're going to record another podcast before our next run in February, and you know what that date is, Colin?
It is. I've got a big calendar beside me. It's amazing. It's 25th of February.
The 25th, 26 days, the 25th of February. So we will do a podcast maybe that Monday night before, and then we'll do the Monday night after. So that'll be another podcast. And who knows, do you think you'll beat the grand old total of 6 runs between now and then?
I've got guaranteed 6. I'm looking at my calendar. There's a guaranteed 6, 7, 8. Maybe it's just a thing. Because the week before, I don't want to go too hard.
Well, that's fair enough.
I would say, because then that only leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, that's 10 runs in the space of like 2 weeks after a rest from the previous one. So maybe we are starting to say 10 runs a month. And then we have our big run.
Yeah, when you look at a calendar and you break it down, 10 would be a bit more than enough for me, I reckon.
I think so. But, like, let's see. Do you know what? I'll say it now. Let's see how far I can push my big runs. You're going to say, don't be stupid, Colin. But, like, 31 miles, let's maybe go to 32, 33, 34. And then let's get to something impressive by the end of the year. What do you think, Andrew? Being stupid?
Yeah, of course you are. But you work away. I might hit the lofty heights of 14 miles, maybe even 15. Ooh. There's talk of is there a marathon in there for me? Is there a marathon in the middle of this year? And I don't know. I'll wait and see. Join us every week on Idiots Go Running podcast to find out how idiotic we can be. And we're learning lessons. I've learned quite a bit from this run. Yeah. Bring water with you when you're doing a half marathon. Don't worry about gels, but bring jelly. If you don't have a backpack, don't worry. Use your brother's. Now, I did offer to take it off you, but you refused. So lots of wisdom bites in this podcast, to be sure. But I think that'll do us for today, Colin.
There was more happened than we actually realised. See, once you sit down, you look at all that stuff. Like, there's more I need to say about how I'm going to get messages in the middle. Even documenting what I'm eating before and after and see what works every marathon. I didn't touch on that. I didn't touch on any other parts of my strengthening and any mobility parts of it. I didn't touch on what I was wearing. I didn't touch on how my trainers are absolutely knackered and I really do need a new pair. But I think it's just a marketing ploy that people say 400 miles in your trainers and you should change them. Like, I didn't touch on loads. So yeah, that'll do us for this week. Maybe 1 week we'll be able to get on to all the other parts of what's running through my brain.
We'll certainly cover that. There'll be a few bonus episodes, no doubt, with a few ideas for special guests lined up, which is also very exciting.
Anyone who wants to join in and do 5 miles, or like next month we're going to Portaferry. Are we passing anyone's houses? Because I passed someone's house who I work with. And they said, you should have said hello. And I'm going, I didn't even know you lived in Dromara.
And again, we're not aiming for a big time. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of crack. We're taking selfies, as I say, after 3 miles or after my first 3 miles and your 18th mile or something. So we're not taking it too serious. We're having a bit of fun along the way. Hopefully the weather is as kind to us as it was this Saturday.
Yeah.
Also. So until next time, my name's Andrew.
You
have to do it, Colin. You have to do it. Every time.
My name's Colin. And
this is Idiots
Go. You have to stop doing this.
Running.
Yes, we're stopping this last time.
Oh, not a chance. See you next time.